You gotta stay relaxed.
Yeah.
You jerk off?
Do I jerk off? Yeah. Yeah, I jerk off, yeah.
How many times a week?
Like, three or four times, maybe.
I'm gonna pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Loose Butthole Reviews. I am your host Smokey, and joining with me as always is my co-host Booge.
Hello.
And before we get into the movie, as always, there are 3 rules we have to go over. First rule is our rating must be a 5 out of 5, 1 being we hate it, 5 being we love it. Our second rule is that if we want our money back, we have to give it a Jeff Goldblum. Third rule is if we both agree that it deserves it, it gets a God tier or 6 out of 5.
Which there'll be not an exception, but there'll be a kind of little caveat here that we're gonna take them up to. Our first caveat.
I'm calling it the sacred law, and this sacred law is not gonna come up. Like, to be honest, I will not be surprised.
Unfortunately, it won't come up.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very unfortunate thing that it won't come up. But this might be like the only movie, if not like a few TV shows, we're gonna review. There's a sacred rule that no matter what our rating is, if a Henry Zebrowski gets a role from Last Podcast on the Left and Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell gets a role in your movie or your TV show, you automatically are given a God tier.
Yes.
That's oh man, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it was, but it's not big enough. It's still not big enough the role they gave him. But yes, Henry Zebrowski, if you don't know, he plays Sea Otter in this motherfucker, and oh dude, he's so fucking good. He's such a good goddamn actor.
I think one of the biggest things of like what we got of him was really good, and like even just like little things where he's not even audible. It's just you can see him smiling in the back.
Yeah.
Or just like walking naked on the plane.
To be honest, like, I think some of his reactions is like genuine, like, oh shit, I'm fucking actually here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean he's a really good actor.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like it's hard to say. Like he nails it, dude.
But I was disappointed we didn't get a scene of him, like even like a small scene of him getting like arrested, you know.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Since he was part of he was pretty close to the inner circle.
Yeah,
like
he was. I will say he was in the inner circle, but he was like on the lower tier. Yeah, he was the lower tier of the inner circle. He was. There was like 5 people. There were 6 people. No, there was 5. There was 5 people sitting at the diner. Is definitely those 5 people were the inner circle, and then the first 20 were the outer inner circle.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am wholeheartedly classifying Stratton Oakmont Incorporated as a cult. That is
okay.
Like I'm definitely doing that. Fucking Joseph Belford was their idol. It was clear that they were. I mean, some of this probably was exaggeration from his own account, but that's such a cult leader fucking move to do. Like he didn't make himself look particularly well. If you actually like know the signs to look for, I mean, it's. What the only difference between him and most Stratton Oakmont and most fucking cults is they just didn't succeed. They got caught with what the illegal practices that they were doing.
Yeah. But yeah, and I could see some aspects of that I could sort of agree with that. Though I'd see it more of like a syndicate, really. Yeah.
And well, that's the problem. That's the Order of the Solar Temple. This is what I got into. This is why I had the fucking like, dude. If Martin Scorsese, Jonah Hill, and Leonardo DiCaprio got together, they could do a fucking Order of the Solar Temple movie like perfectly. Because they nailed this, and it would it just. it's such a cult. I mean, they reminded me. That's what it reminded me of, was the Order of the Solar Temple, and the Order of the Solar Temple is heavily debated if it was actual secret organization or just a front, just a
I guess
illegal
it's just hard to
money
place
laundering
it there
front.
because there's no like occult, like there's no actual like like
I would
occult
say
aspect to it. It is more just
it's
like
a loose
full on psychological.
it's a
manipulation.
loose
I mean, it's
occult.
I
He's
would say
not
that,
using
I think
the
capitalism. Money is the god here. You
well,
know.
that, and Joseph is clearly also the Messiah. But what I'm saying is he's indirectly using the occult by strangely kind of incorporating chaos magic into the, like, he didn't mean to, but he obviously, his will, he's a motherfucking, he has a strong ass will because he willed this shit to happen, he didn't get lucky. This came out of sheer fucking will of somebody just going, I'm gonna fucking have this happen regardless of who gets in my way. And I have a feeling if anybody did get in his way, it would have ended very badly. Like that, we got luck. The world got lucky that nobody got in this people's way, because then it probably would have ended up like the Order of the Solar Temple, completely nuclear, where he's like, oh shit, I gotta isolate my fucking company, and I'm gonna lose all of this, and I don't need shit. And next thing you know, we have a whole office that's died because some dude fucking poisoned the wine,
I got you.
I just think it's wholehearted luck that nobody decided to actually fuck with Joseph Belfort. Nobody, except for the FBI agent, and I have a feeling the FBI agent was just doing that because it was his job and he really didn't want to be on that case. Like that. So he just got super fucking lucky. And it doesn't help that even to this day, the motherfucker wears a cult leader outfits. Like, I haven't seen a single picture of him where it's like, God damn it.
I would definitely agree that psychologically he's probably like similar, like psychologically to a cult leader. He just didn't go down that exact rabbit hole ever.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
kind of found it
saying
naturally.
I'm saying he indirectly used the occult to his advantage.
Yeah, I agree with
that's
that.
What I'm trying to say.
Mm.
Like it was a happy accident that the occult actually does have some actual like evidential evidence to exist on some level.
Yeah.
But Leonardo DiCaprio fucking played him well. I mean,
Yeah.
If I was a stupid schmuck that really didn't know any better, I definitely would been a dumbass and like really want to work for this fucking company. Like,
It's
man,
a great company to work for a while, cash out, and then get out as quick as possible.
yeah, for sure. I would say depending on how close I was to being in the inner circle, I might have went down with the ship. Fuck it, because they only served like 2 years tops, and they make it seem like they had the corporate kind of white man prison experience in prison. They didn't seem to. They didn't make it out to seem like his prison time was all that bad.
Now, if you're a normal dude, and it's like no one really gives a shit if you did some corporate crimes.
But
he's probably charismatic enough that he knows how to just talk to people and make them instantly like them.
I'm not sure if it was true or not, but he was fucking playing tennis in jail.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I couldn't tell
like,
if
he
that was
did-
in jail or not.
yeah,
I guess
he was in a jail outfit. That's what he was in sweats and white, but it's hard to say because that's his cult leader outfit, so it's hard to say. But yeah,
I want to know what prison has a little tennis court.
so yeah, that's why I'm going to assume he went to a white collar prison and had a pretty decent time because he was still he's still rich. I mean, he's still fucking
got to move him.
he fucking let's face it, even though he got it overseas that there was more than 20 million. We fucking know that there was more than 20 million that he got the fuck over in his Swiss bank account. We know that wasn't his only Swiss bank account. Come on. It's not it's not rocket science.
Yeah. You're not just
but,
gonna put it in one place.
Jonah Hill. Fucking, I have to say this is my favorite role of Jonah Hill so far.
This is probably the best he's ever been. Yeah, like the best that he's ever acted.
Like, it is Donnie. Like, I hate that the real dude says this is a false interpretation, which if it is, you fucked up, man. Because you was my hero, man. Donnie's my fucking hero.
The bumble was true, but he only added the incest and like him like jacking off
Yeah.
in front of everybody. Just like added those little things because he's still kind of pissed at Donnie.
Yes. Oh man, like, I don't just Donnie. Out of all the people, I definitely want to fucking party with Donnie.
I don't know if I want to party with Donnie. I don't think I do.
Shit. It gets just I know for a fact shit gets wild when Donnie's at the party. I have a feeling that there would be a hangover situation going with Donnie. Just one, like,
Oh yeah.
just constantly randomly waking up just missing like, oh shit, we lost fucking what's his name, and we end up having to go on some misadventure trying to find him
Bunch
constantly.
of bikers like hunting you down.
Yes. The dude that plays the is it the dude that plays the Punisher? Is it the same guy?
Yeah. Punisher and
Yeah.
and I can't
He's-
remember what his name was. He was in Walking Dead for a little while. Too.
Yeah.
That's where he kind of got to start.
He was in this, and he played a good role. I think he's a little typecasted, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But he plays the type well.
Yeah. Margot
But
Robbie.
he's always a really good actor. He's not in a lot of good things. You know.
I wouldn't say that he's not in good things. It's just the material he's given is hard to work with, is what I would say.
Because I still say he's a fucking premium Punisher. It's just he was so misused, like in the writing.
Exactly.
And everything.
Well, that was because what he was given, the writing that he was given,
Yeah.
wasn't that much to work with. Again, that it's what he's given. He does.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a good actor. He's able to take mediocre writing and turn it into something done well. He's able to do it well.
And yeah. And then also it was a smaller role, but they had I can't think of the actor's name, but he's the brother in My Name Is Earl and also in American History X.
Oh yeah, he was part of the Inner Circle too. He was actually he was part of. If I'm not mistaken, he works for the original firm as well. That Leonardo.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there first. He was like at the firm first. Yeah, he was one of the first ones that worked there. He probably like scalped him from there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know that Mark Hannon, Matthew McConaughey's character, he was like in jail till 2006, so he really couldn't come back. But we didn't get enough of his character.
Oh yeah. So it worked well that he kind of like he made the monster, you know.
Yeah, and to be honest, I like that the real Mark Hannon. He's not like Donnie. He embraced he's like as
He's like,
portrayed
"Yep,
by
that's me."
Matthew. Yep, that's me.
I mean, Yeah, you can't complain if you get portrayed by Matthew McConaughey. That's a win.
Oh, to be honest, getting betrayed by Jonah Hill's best role is a win too. Come on now, Like, take the W.
They just didn't want that type of W. They wanted McConaughey.
But
And
yeah.
also the I can't think of the other dude. He was part of the inner circle too, the Asian guy.
Yeah, that he was
He was
pretty
really
well.
funny.
Yeah, he was hilarious. How they treated the butler, I know that it's not right, but just
With Yakuza on his ass.
yes.
And like no one asked for it too. Everyone else was just like, "Oh, had to call the cops on them." See that? You know, that's if that really happened, that was the point when he couldn't be a cult leader, because a full cult leader would have found that dedication and used that fully to his advantage. But that freaked him out. Apparently, like it's the movie, you know.
Okay,
That was too much power.
He
didn't
just
quite
wasn't
have the
a
edge.
he wasn't a murderous cult leader. I will say,
Yeah.
like I said, it just didn't have enough opportunity to go nuclear. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Let's face
They were
it.
too
I'm
wild.
gonna.
They're too wild. They're just too wild, I think.
Yeah, I
They
think
weren't
that was
weird enough.
the element of this. This was it. It was he had somewhat control, but he knew that it was very, very loose. Like he didn't have that. There were reins on the horse, but they're not in his hands really. They're just kind of in front of him.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
flopping there, and he's hoping the reins don't fall off, and he can still grab it when he needs to.
Exactly. But yeah, I still not going against any of your point. I still agree, but I'd say like that was the point that shows like he didn't have it quite in him to go all the way.
Yeah. I have a feeling that the only reason why is because he just didn't have enough time to get paranoid. Because that's the added element that causes most humans to get violent is fucking make a human paranoid. That's like the worst fucking.
After he tries to bribe the FBI agent, things start falling out pretty
Yeah,
quick.
see
Too quick to
that's
really have it build up.
Yeah, see that's when the paranoia starts building, and that's when he gets violent. That's when he starts getting violent, and he lashes out, and unfortunately it caused domestic violence and such, and thankfully it didn't get as nuclear as it could, but it still went kind of nuclear. It fell apart.
Yeah.
And it's all because he didn't fucking walk away. That's like, he's a cult leader that had the opportunity to walk away and like be super fucking rich and not have to serve like a tiny bit of jail time. But no, he had to make it worse up until the point. But he only served 22 months. The real Joseph Buffer, you know.
Playing tennis.
Yeah, fucking playing tennis apparently, so having a great time. And now he's a life coach apparently, which that's why I was like, okay, yeah, cult leader, because that's such a thing. Like, he's lost his cult. He's lost his cult. He will never get another cult back. That's the one thing about cults and cult leaders. You only get the one cult. You never get two cults. The only time you get two cults is when you start a cult and you merge it with another cult, and the two cults make one whole cult. You don't
Jim Jones style.
The pseudo what the Order of the Solar Temple did was was they took Joe DeMombro fucking Joseph DeMombro's cult and Luke Jure's kind of like weird following hieropathic healing weird following and merged them together.
Yeah.
You know, so
And Jim Jones also did that when he stole like a bunch of people from that one church when he was claiming to be the resurrected version of I can't remember that one
yeah, plenty of
culty priest.
those are the only two examples that I can list off the top
Yeah,
of my
yeah.
head. But plenty of cults do that. Like I said, you only
But
get the one
that
cult.
wasn't exactly a merger, more of him kind of like scalping some people from it, you know.
Yeah. And of course, a cult could die and become another cult, but the past cult leader will never be the leader of the new cult that comes out of the old cult. It will always be
Yeah.
some follower that took the reins and had somewhat control over the people more than the actual cult leader did.
Oh yeah, there's
And it-
quite a few like things that split off from Scientology.
Fucking they're no longer Shrikio still operating as well.
Oh yeah.
So they're still out there.
Hmm.
Love
So,
is
yeah,
One
and,
for crying out loud. Love is One. I will say they're a completely different cult now because they've lost their messiah. They've, to be
Gotcha.
honest, they're not even really a cult. They're just fucking e-beggars that's pretending.
Gotcha. But to get back onto the movie.
Yeah, let's get back to the movie. Margot Robbie, she's in this, and I will say, I'm torn on her character.
I mean, you know, they.
I want to know how many scenes was forced, because that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Because some scenes do seem kind of unnecessary. I'm going to point out the nurseries. I didn't know the shot was so clear. Like, I do not remember it being so clear and so vivid. I just want to know if that was something that kind of was forced upon her, you know, like, oh, you know, if you want to do this role, you're going to have to do this scene, or if she was like, why not?
I'm sure she was also like, why not? Pretty early in her career too.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just something that would be good to know. It's good to know when it comes to shit like that in this, especially in this fucking career. In this,
How much was?
Do I really have to explain why?
Hands? Where were Martin Scorsese's hands when he was filming that? They're in his pants.
Do I really have to explain?
No, you don't have to explain.
In Hollywood industry.
Yeah, I haven't ever heard anything about Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not saying Martin Scorsese, but he was the director of this, so
Yeah. And I know he's a director, and I definitely know there wasn't
Producer
too
as
much
well.
of anyone
I
else.
think he was the
he's
producer as well.
And I mean, I'm actually going to go to one of my things because it's God tier because of our rule, but personal level, this movie's a 4.5 for me. If
I
Irishman
understand that.
didn't exist, because I always forget that Irishman is also Martin Scorsese. If that movie didn't exist, I would say that this is technically his worst one, but it's still 4.5 and is fucking still phenomenal in ways. It's just that I think I noticed a lot of like his Martin Scorsese's usual tropes in it weren't done as well. They almost felt a little forced, like because sometimes I remember when I first watched this, I didn't know it was Scorsese, but I was like, it felt like someone mimicking Scorsese, you know?
Gotcha.
And
Yeah,
it
he's
just-
not. I will say he's not on his A game in this one.
Yeah, it felt like he made like a little bit of like, it was really good, but it was kind of like his trash movie, you know?
I think it's the length. I think there's some
The length,
fat.
yeah.
I think there's some fat
And-
here that can be trimmed out.
There's a couple times that it felt like it would have ended well, but I don't know. Like I feel like the ending would have worked better, but I don't know. That very last scene felt really forced. It kind of took me out of it.
The scene where they're showing him be a life coach.
Yeah, and then he was like doing a quote from like kind of like early in the film too, and that was supposed to be like a oh shit moment, and I was just kind of
Yeah,
like, oh
like-
no.
It's supposed.
This movie thought it was way too cool, which this movie was cool, but it was kind of like the person who's cool, but like they kind of think they're too cool at the same time.
I have to say, I think that comes to somewhat this being based on Joseph Belford's memoirs. And
Memoirs, yeah.
you know he fucking thinks his shit don't stink.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense because that's kind of the issue I had with the Motley Crue's movie. That was definitely from a very
biased
like,
perspective.
Yeah.
But even from the biased
this
perspective,
didn't feel like this one didn't feel like as much as a bias, but it definitely was sniffing its farts a little bit. I thought a little. There's a tiny bit. Which sounds like music was used too.
If you're not
also overused, "Spoonful" by Howlin' Wolf. I didn't like that. Every time it was like doing coke, they'd play "Spoonful" by Howlin' Wolf. That distracted me because I'm like, this is the third time you're playing it.
There was one song that they played that came out of nowhere that I mentioned. It was like a weird. It was when they first got the yacht, I think. It was that weird, like, 90s, early 2000s rock song.
Oh, then they played Insane in the Membrane, because I looked that up and it did bother me, because I'm like, I don't think it's 1993 yet.
No, it was nowhere
And usually
near.
Martin Scorsese's good about, like, keeping,
Like
kind of time-oriented songs to get you in, like, the time, you know?
but
that's
not
why
this one.
You forget that it's the 80s sometimes.
Some of this is supposed to be in the 90s. Some of this is supposed to be in the 90s.
Later in the movie, yeah, but like I'm talking about like still early in the movie, like sometimes.
Yeah. Like
sometimes
I said,
you'd forget
that one song. Like I said, that one song. I don't know. It's so fucking memorable because it was that one song. They even played, I think, in one of the Power Rangers movies. If I'm not mistaken, it's literally. Oh my god! It's literally the fucking outro song of Turbo, the Power Rangers movie, the song they play when they first get the boat.
They played Cypress. Are we talking about Cypress Hill?
No, it's not Cypress Hill. It's not Cypress Hill. That is at the party. That is at the party when he first meets Margot Robbie. That was very off-putting, but I kind of just was like, okay, it's a party, whatever. I kind of just off-wrote it. I wasn't really paying attention to the era at that point. But that one fucking song is it sticks out like a sore thumb. I have to look it up, but if I'm not mistaken, it's the same fucking song from Turbo.
Yeah.
Like that's how like sore thumb it is. It would never fit in this film. Like there's no scene that it fits, and it's weird because it's not even about sailing or nothing. And it's right when they get the boat, right when they get the yacht.
But still, super fun movie, and that's only because like I have to compare this movie to like Casino and fucking
Oh man,
Goodfellas is like this is what this is stepping up to the plate to
Yeah.
So of course it would never.
Unfortunately, this story would never live up to Casino or Goodfellas, because Casino and Goodfellas we talked about this. The mafia started out, we can say, classified as a cult, and is like Scientology evolved into something much more to where, yes,
definitely more family oriented.
Yeah. Technically, we can't call Scientology a cult anymore. Like yes, you're insulting Scientology by calling them a cult now, because they have evolved. They've obviously evolved into a beast far much more serious than a cult. But
I don't know. It depends on, because whenever I think of a cult, I think of the root, it being the root word of a cult, and with especially with something like the mafia, they have a code and stuff, but other than like their Catholicism, which they kind of sometimes goes against what they do.
I go more on the general definition of a cult is a small group of individuals that worship or idolize a specific individual as a messiah or a godly figure.
But that's kind of the issue with like the mob and stuff, is because it's more family and respect oriented in that way. It's not really worship, and then a lot of times there's a lot of like power struggle because it's like you want to be the big boss.
I'm not worship. Idolization is a factor. If they idolize They do idolize in the mafia, and they did
True.
idolize in this, and that's the thing. They idolize it up to the level of this person is my savior, and that I mean I don't know if that speech did happen, but he pointed out in
Then you
this
could call
movie.
the U.S. military a cult.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The government's a fucking. The government is legitly founded by a cult called the fucking Freemasons. Let's just point that fact out.
Yeah, I got you. I mean,
Like-
if we're gonna get into that that scope of
Yeah,
it, then
there are
I
many
would agree.
cults that are like super like it's like being a cult is super vague. That's why people it's an insult to the group. Is when you call something a cult, and just because you're insulting doesn't mean that group doesn't deserve it, because most fucking cults do deserve to be insulted, because if they had their way, they would kill us fucking all.
Mhm.
Like that is most cults in game is Armageddon. It's very rare a cult in game is to just have like a harem or just a shit ton of money. Those are the safe cults, but they still are very they're still teetering on that level of if there's just that one bad day, it can go fucking nuclear, and once it goes nuclear, it's over.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I
fucking-
understand.
But this.
But then how would you
like I was gonna
distinguish-
say, they did this scene. I went off tangent. There's a scene in this where he's doing that speech and he points out to that girl. He's like,
Yeah,
"What
yeah.
did you came to me with? You couldn't even rub two nickels together. And who saved you?
Yeah.
Who saved you? It was me. I'm the Messiah. I'm y'all saviors. And guess who's not?" And he was like, "They told me to leave." And he does the fucking cult. He reestablishes his dominance by going, "But I'm not fucking going. They're gonna have to fucking make me." You know? It's like,
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, fucking what else can we talk about? I know we haven't talked about something.
I looked at it and I went over my points of why I couldn't give it just that 0.5.
Yeah. I don't think I can go over. It's a fucking amazing film. I think we've
It-
gone on long enough.
Yeah, I guess other than that, this movie made us curious on Quaaludes, just because it's something we can never
dude.
get.
Oh man, dude, I've been curious on lewd since I'm not. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I've been curious on lewd since I've been experimenting with drugs.
Yeah.
Like I knew about lewd before this movie.
I didn't know. I only
I
learned
knew.
about him from this movie.
I knew, and oh man, they've been they're the Holy Grail. You're the fucking Holy Grail. I know I shouldn't say this, but man, do I want to just experience the cerebral palsy face just once, just once. But thank you so much if you've been listening to us ramble this long. If you have been, please like or comment dislike on the video and share it around. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm gonna ask you, do you have a sign-off, Spooge?
What's your favorite Martin Scorsese movie? There you go.
Oh, we might review it.
Yeah, we probably will anyway, even if you don't post it. We'll
Yeah.
probably get. We're not gonna do a thing in order of them,
Yeah, of
but
course not.
we'll probably eventually
Oh yeah,
cover them all.
oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And this
Pretty sure
will
I've
be
seen most of them.
and this will be a bye-bye.
Bye bye.
They need, you know what I mean?
And that's the thing. All nuns are lesbians.
What the fuck are you talking about, Otter?
Think about it.
They can't keep